Welcome a young man gifted with a wealth of talent that has brought him to superstardom in a relatively short time.
Look, isn't that Morris Day over there?
The party's across the street featuring the greatest band in the world. Morris Day to time.
I've been watching you. I think I want to know you.
Morris, I always say we know where people are, we don't know how they got there. So if you don't mind, I think I want to know you a little bit better. So we know you were in the band with Prince when you were all growing up in Minneapolis, but let's back up to how you first got interested in music and entertainment.
That was just destiny for me. I love music since as far back as I can remember. I came out doing the James Brown, doing the splits and running around in my little Fruit of the Looms, and just couldn't get enough of music. So I just felt like it was something that I was put here to do.
And what about your sense of style? Because that's the other thing that you had. You had not only that you could sing, you had this sense of style and this sense of theater on stage.
So I pulled out a suit about the same color as my BMW.
The sense of style I think just came around from being around, like my grandfather and my uncles. Grandfather was just always clean, overcoat, hats, double-breasted suits and all that stuff. And I think it just rubbed off on me.
I have an Italian cook, Gino's Scagagratti or something like that.
I found that I can do acting. However, I'm a musician first.
As we say, birds of a feather, musicians will find each other. Can you take us back to that first moment where you and Prince both came together and said, we need to do something together?
I lived around the corner from the brother, and I didn't even know it when we were like 9 or 10 years old. And, I always used to see him and his sister Tyka, these little kids, playing. They had a nice house. We kind of had a ghetto house. They had the nicest house on the block. So I see them, playing all the time, but I didn't meet him until years later. And, I went to a high school or after school dance. And this band was playing Grand Central, and they were ripping it up. Prince was doing guitar solos, Carlos Santana, the Jimi Hendrix solos, and playing them just like the record. So eventually I got to know Andre Simone, who was the bass player in that band, and he found out I could play drums. We were skipping school. Kids, don't do it. We were skipping school one day, and he heard me play drums, and he was just looking at me. His eyes are stretched. I'm like, what's up? He's like, man, I didn't know you could play like that. So next thing you know, he said, we're auditioning for new drummers. So I took my drums over, played a few songs with him, and my drums never got broke back down. I was in from that day, and that's when Prince and I kind of got to know each other.
There's all kinds of fabled stories and things that happened along the road. Tell us about is Jamie Starr, which the press was always like, where is Jamie Starr? Who is Jamie Starr?
Yeah, Jamie Starr was Prince's secret producer name. He wanted everything to, have a story and have some kind of meaning and have a mystery to it. So he came up with Jamie Starr. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you really want to know about all of this, you got to pick up my book. It's called On Time, Morris Day's Memoirs, A Princely Life in Funk, available everywhere.
I want some perfection.
America, have you heard? A brand new dance, and it's called the bird.
And then, of course, we also know the famous line of, somebody bring me a mirror.
We had recorded Cool, released it. We were rehearsing to go on the road, and there's the part in the song where I say, somebody bring me a mirror. And Jerome, was a valet. He ran in the bathroom of this little rehearsal hall we were in. He snatched the mirror off the wall, put it up in front of me, and, we all just kind of stopped the music. We all looking at each other like, you're in the band now.
You follow directions.
Yeah, that sticks. You in the band.
Oh my gosh. Okay, great music, great entertainment, never goes away. You came back for that tribute to Prince, and then we saw where exactly some modern day artists are getting all their influence from. Bruno Mars and you. It was like, you can tell where he got it from. It's you.
Chili sauce.
It's the highest form of flattery. A lot of people say, hey, are you mad? but you know, Bruno's a very talented guy. You know, it's hard to be mad at anything like that. You know, it was flattering.
You are able to, with your celebrity, of course, have a bigger voice. And right now you want that voice to be heard when it comes to dealing with COVID-19. We are struggling across the country with this. Tell us about the event that you're doing and what you hope to achieve with this.
Late one night, I was watching TV and watching the news, and you know, the news can have a negative effect on you if you watch too much of it. And I was in that mode, and I kind of jumped up and I said, "Funk Corona." I got this idea, and I called my manager, Courtney Benson, and he's like, "Great idea, man." So then we partnered up with Bruce Soto Events, and of course my company, Morris Day Entertainment, and we put this thing together. We've been working nonstop, and I think we came up with something really cool, whereas we can bring the party to your living room. You don't have to go nowhere. Just hit the remote, hit on demand, just like you're ordering a fight, and boom, there we are.
And we will have a funk good time.
Oh, yes, we will. Now, we also have some charities involved with that. We have Direct Relief. They provide the frontline workers with all the essential equipment that they need to get the job done, which is very important. We also partnered up with Von Miller, who has Von Sachs COVID, and they're feeding the hungry children, which, you know, that's very important. We have so many unemployed people and people just in need of things. So we picked a couple of charities to partner up with, and you know, it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Yes, it will. And I'm going to move back the furniture in the living room and get ready to dance with y'all and make my donation. There is another crisis that this country is dealing with, and it is kind of sparked in your hometown again of Minneapolis. And so what are your thoughts and feelings on that? I know everybody wants to find these answers, and they want it to be one good single answer. There is no one single answer, but just wanted to get your thoughts on this.
Growing up in Minneapolis, I witnessed that type of profiling firsthand. You know, to the degree that, you know, I thought it was a way of life, you know, that you know, I didn't even know it was about being black. You know, I just know that I got harassed, you know, by the cops, pulled over on the regular. And, you know, it's coming to light. It's coming to light, and the whole world's seeing it. You know, they're under the magnifying glass, and now all of law enforcement is under the magnifying glass. And not to say that all law enforcement officers are bad, but, you know, there are some bad seeds that need to be weeded out, and they need to be dealt with differently. And, you know, I'm just kind of glad that it's all kind of coming to light.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that brings people together that I think sometimes we underestimate the value of, we look at it as entertainment, but the value of it in terms of our psyche is music.
It's a universal voice, you know. It's we go to Japan, we go to different parts of the world and perform people who don't even really speak English. And guess what? They party anyway. They don't know what I'm saying. They might, you know, and I definitely don't know what they're saying, but we all have that music in common.
Well, Morris, I just want to say, I'm glad I got to know you.